What was the moment for you that finally made you say, wow, people really are this stupid? 1. I used to work in a bookstore. A woman comes in asking about the true story of Lord of the Rings. I assumed she meant a biography of J.R.R. Tolkien or a book about how the books/movies were made. No. She goes on to explain that she is looking for history books about the Middle Ages that talk about the elves and dwarves. She is specifically interested in elves because her whole family is tall and she thinks she might be descended from elves. I very politely explained to her that the book is fictional, and that it calls it Middle Earth, not Middle Ages. The books are shelved in the fantasy section because they aren't true. She was visibly taken aback and had tears in her eyes as she left the store. I'm not sure if she was sad that it wasn't true or because she wasn't an elf. That person drove to my store. Someone gave her a driver's license and a job and money. 2. Coworker had maxed out her credit card and didn't know how to be able to use it again. I asked her if she was just making the minimum payment, and she said, "What payment?" She didn't know she had to pay back the money she used on the card. Just thought it was free money. 3. I was working at a dark sky park and a woman asked me if the statues on the self-guided nature hike had RFID. I said no, and she started gushing about how nice it was to find a place she wasn't exposed to cell service or power lines because she is allergic to them. They give her migraines, apparently. She needs to be really far away from cell towers or power stations or she suffers miserably. I didn't have the heart to tell her we were about a quarter mile from a small power station. She just couldn't see it because it was behind the tree line. 4. Anytime someone tries to board public transport without letting people off first, then acts indignant that they can't get on. 5. There have been so many recently, but the one that stands out the most to me is people actually believing that some schools are providing litter boxes for students who identify as cats, so much so that there is actual legislation being proposed to ban the practice, that isn't actually happening. 6. The few months I worked at one of those fuel centers outside of a popular retail chain. Didn't even know there were that many ways to mess up the process of pumping gas that I thought was pretty simple and straightforward. Almost every day someone surprised me by doing something wrong in a whole different way. 7. Years ago, someone posted a video of water spraying from a sprinkler system. She said, "What are they putting in our water?" She didn't understand why it made a rainbow. 8. Working IT and a guy comes up to me and says that the color printer is not making color copies. I asked to see the original. It was black and white.